All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about the teachings of Neville and how he believed you can literally become the architect of your own reality. And all it takes is your own powerful imagination. So, we're going to start with his most foundational and honestly, his most mind-blowing idea. Neville's entire philosophy really hangs on this single powerful idea. He's not saying imagination is just for daydreaming or wishful thinking. No. He's saying it is the actual creative force in the universe. It's the very stuff that our world is built from. Kind of radical, right? So, if imagination is the real deal, the creative power, how in the world do we actually use it? Well, that brings us to the core principle, the engine of this whole thing, which Neville calls the law of assumption. Okay, so this right here is the master key. This law basically says that your internal states, what you're feeling and believing on the inside, are the only cause of everything that happens in your life. What you assume to be true and really feel it, well, it has to show up in your world. Think of it like this. You're the architect of your own life. For real. Your imagination, that's what you use to draw up the blueprints for what you want. But it's your feeling, that deep emotional state, that's the raw material. It's the concrete and steel you use to actually build the thing. All right, so let's get practical. How do you actually do this? How do you assume the feeling of your wish being fulfilled and start drawing up those blueprints? And here's where Neville makes a critical distinction, and you really got to get this. See, thinking of your desire, that keeps it at a distance. It feels like something out there in the future. It just creates more longing. But to actually make it happen, you have to think from it. You have to mentally move in and live in the state where your wish is already a done deal. And he gave us a really clear technique for this, the actual mechanics of building your scene. You don't imagine the whole complicated journey. You just create a super short, simple scene that would happen after your wish is fulfilled. Maybe it's a friend congratulating you, or you're holding something in your hand. Then you give it sensory details. What do you see, hear, touch? Make it vivid. And then you just sink into the feeling of it being absolutely real, right here, right now. So you've done it. You've built your scene. You felt it is real. Awesome. But what happens when you open your eyes and your bank account or your relationships or just the world around you tells you a completely different story? Well, this is where the real work begins. The crucial part is persistence. Neville had a great phrase for it: brazen impudence. It means you have to be so bold, so audacious that you completely ignore the so-called facts of your current life if they contradict your assumption. You just hold on to your inner vision with so much conviction that reality literally has no choice but to catch up. And this leads to the question that, let's be honest, we all ask. Okay, I can imagine it, but how is it actually going to happen? What are the steps? Who do I need to call? What am I supposed to do? Neville's answer to this is so freeing. It's simple. Figuring out the how is not your job. He called the process that unfolds the bridge of incidents. And he believed that if your conscious mind tries to meddle and plan it all out, you'll probably just mess it up. So once you've successfully assumed the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your own imagination, that deeper part of you, starts to orchestrate a whole sequence of events. A random phone call, a chance meeting, a sudden idea that pops into your head. These things seem totally natural, but they're actually forming a bridge that leads you step by step right to your goal. Your logical mind never could have planned it. Now, this whole process doesn't just apply to creating the future. Neville also taught this incredibly powerful technique for actively going back and renovating your past. He called it revision. And he saw revision as the true form of repentance. Think about that. It's not about feeling guilty or sorry for what happened. It's about literally changing your mind about what happened. By going back and rewriting the not-so-great events, you stop them from carrying their negative energy into your future. He laid it out as a super practical daily exercise. At the end of your day, just before you fall asleep, you quickly run through the events. You find any moment that didn't go the way you wanted, an awkward conversation, a mistake you made, and you just rewrite it in your imagination. You replay it over and over exactly as you wish it had happened until you feel the genuine satisfaction of the new version. According to Neville, this literally changes the past, and by doing that, it changes your future. Okay, so let's pull all of this together. If you truly are the architect of your reality, what are the fundamental rules of construction you need to know? So here are the big takeaways from Neville's framework. First, the creative power is your own wonderful human imagination. The method, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The real work,
That's persisting in that assumption with that, quote, brazen impudence. Your maintenance tool is revision, keeping your past clean. And the only real enemy, the only thing that can stop you, the only Satan, as Neville would put it, is your own doubt.
And that really leaves us with one final powerful thought that turns all of Neville's teachings right back to you. This isn't just some cool philosophy to think about. It's a set of tools you're meant to use. So the question isn't whether you can build your reality. The question is, what reality will you choose to build?